Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I was getting started on another episode of What's Broke Today. And today we're going to start on our 2006 F550 that is, it got stolen. So we got to get things ready so we can start it and see it, make sure it still runs and drives. Um, the two things I want to get done in this episode is clutch pedal, get it fixed, and also fix the, put a new key cylinder in it. I have not purchased any parts yet, but I thought we'd start out with maybe pulling the old key cylinder out or see if I can get it out because usually they pop it out. Well, this one, somehow they got it to turn. So it will turn without a key, so it should come out of there relatively easy. Um, and then we'll get that to work on the clutch pedal. All right, because I see our key cylinder, they've got it where it will turn. So I'm going to put it in the on position. And then underneath here on the bottom of the column, there's a hole. And I reach up through there and find the push button hole. And let's see if I can get there we go. Figure out where it went. And there are no batteries in this, is why it didn't make any noises. But yeah, so we can leave that in the on position. But when I go through that hole in the bottom, the ignition's got to be in the on position. And I'm reaching up through with my pick tool and pushing on that little pin to release it. So see when the push that up and it'll allow it to come out. I got to get a new one, so that isn't a big deal. The next thing we got to figure out is our clutch pedal, and I pop the hood. Okay, when we look up here at the clutch pedal bracket, they push the pin all the way out, and I'm actually going to pull that bracket out, which looks like there's two nuts going up, maybe 13 millimeter. We got to pull out the clutch slave cylinder, and I think that's the back side of maybe a nut or bolt that goes through the outside. There's two of them. So I'm going to take those out, and because I probably won't be able to keep the camera up in there while I'm taking bolts out, but I'm going to try. Oh, we're out to the out under the hood looking at our clutch master cylinder. You notice it is not mounted super solid, and it's just like a push in and kind of twist thing and pull it out. And of course, they should have put this rubber boot up into the firewall, but it wasn't. And there's our two nuts out here that we got to remove. So, and those also look like 13s. So I'm going to get a socket and a swivel and see if I can get those off there. As you can see, I don't know if I'm going to see if I can prop the camera up in there, but so I got it on the one, and then we'll just loosen it up and come up to the top one. Yep. Again, loosen to a certain point. I think I can reach down there and take them off with my fingers. I may knock the camera over again because where I got my hands. But I was successful and didn't. So I get those off there. Okay, I can't see if I got the camera pointed in the right direction or not, but I laid it up on a little flat spot that's kind of at the front of the footwell. Now I'm going to lay down here far enough where I can peek up underneath the dash and There's nut number one. I don't know if you can see this other thing now. It's moving around while I'm trying to reach up there. It's kind of the clutch pedal switch for the interlock. So you got to pushing the clutch in to get it started. It's kind of in the way because it's dangling there. Okay. Okay. Now I got both of those off, then I should be able to grab this bracket. And it should come back, down, and out. Which you probably would if that pin wasn't sticking out through the side. There we go. Let's go out and see if we can work on this away from the truck. Okay, well I got our clutch pedal bracket out. Our shaft could use a little bit of cleaning, but it's still in usable shape. Our two bushings that actually go in the clutch pedal arm itself, they're okay. One of our bushings that goes on our pin that goes through here looks good. The other one's got the little top hat things are broke off. This bracket looks good, so we should be able to snap that back. Well, if we put it the right way, that should snap back in its spot like so. And then we should easily be able to line everything up and put our pin back through here. Yeah, we just need all our bushings, really. So I'm going to look up parts. I'm going to look up, because I think there's a bushing kit you can buy that has all four bushings in it. Oh, yeah, because that one I broke just then. So 4 bushings, an ignition switch, and we get all this put back together, get an ignition switch in it. Then I got a used door handle that's left over from that 2002 F350 that I did the rust repair on and repainted. Well, that's over a year ago, but yeah, that's partially left over from Rusty. So I got the right hand outside door handle, and then slap a couple batteries in it, and then we'll see if we can get it started. Now another thing, I went in and took this rod off because when I put this back together, I'll put the clutch master in, and then I'll put this up in the master, then snap it back on here. It's got these 4 little short tabs here, which this one's missing one. You got to kind of pull them out a little, which you'd end up, it's with it off the truck, it's real easy because you can put it down on there, pull them out, and slide it off. If it's up in the truck, it's a little bit different ball game. Not quite as easy, but I probably ought to shine that up just a little because that has just a little bit of rust on it. But when that's going to be in the area where the pedal pivots, and we'll probably put a thin film of grease on here, but I'll get some emery cloth and clean that up. So I'm going to look up bushings, an ignition switch, and price them out some batteries, and we'll go from there. We're getting started on the next step on our 2006 F550. Has a broken outer door handle. Watch out. I got Curtis helping. Say hi. I'm Curtis. Yeah, he's a good boy. I think he's ready to go back in the house. Okay, get out. But when they broke into this, they broke the outside door handle, as you can see. And let me walk over here. And luckily, left over from the videos from the 2002 F350 that I did all the rust repair and hung new doors and fenders and fixed the rockers and painted it. I have a door handle. And door handle getting it off is, of course, our rod for releasing, our key cylinder, and then two nuts with 11 millimeter heads. And but to put this in, we got to start out with by getting the door panel off. I'm gonna start out with, got to get just come carefully here at the front and pop this um, bezel off with the power window switch, and then just push the tabs in and pull the switch out of there. Then we can grab this, or try to grab this, pop this piece out, and it's just got two little metal clips. And we got to pop, one of the reasons we got to take the switch off here is there's a 7 millimeter headed screw hidden behind that switch plate. Got to take it out. I'll come down here and pop out our reflector that's in the door. And yours could have a light in this. And behind that is another 7 millimeter headed screw. We pull it out. And then our door panel just comes up and out and off. And all these holes here in the door, all these hooks hook in there, hold the door panel on. Okay, now I'm going to very carefully peel this stuff back. And unfortunately, most of the time when you peel it off, the glue doesn't, usable again. Well, we can take that up there and maybe tuck it on that handle. Because then back in here, we got access to one of those nuts that hold it on behind this plug is back there. And then where this rod hooks on, this is just like threaded. This is threaded, and there's a little retainer thing on the latch. You got to pop that little door open so you can pull this out. I don't know if I can do that with my fingers or if I'll have to get a hook tool. Actually, damn near go through the hole where the key cylinder's sticking out a bit. Yeah, almost. I'm just going to take my little hook tool and reach in here. A little door for that is facing the outside of the door. And that track for the window does kind of get in the way. Door handle a little loose because this is, well, I actually do have to take that track a little bit loose. I forgot it was blocking of course, that's a 10. Okay, so I gotta take this nut out for the window track. That way I can move it enough to get to the other handle nut. And like this one, it's got little funny teeth on this washer. It leaves a mark in here. I'm gonna put it back in the same spot it was when I took it out, or as close as possible. But I can push that back and then come in here and remove that nut. Then I can come through here and remove this one. And this one you got to be careful because it's very easy to drop it and it end up in the very bottom of the door. Because I can't even get my hand up in there. But, oh, I got it. Pull this handle out. Everything's kind of in a bind because of that handle itself being broke. But maybe I can take this and there we go. Pop that. Now I reach down there and flip that door open and pop that handle out, and then you can pull this little clip loose and get the cylinder out. And this was kind of their little attempt to make it harder to break into these on the newer models. I'm going to take this off, I think, because I think I got the studs there to put this on the other handle. And then when you put these in, you just got to lay it down and push it up in. But the good thing is it did not, it didn't bend the, or does not appear to have bent the lock for the key cylinder, which is good. There's a dang frog in there. This one doesn't have the studs on it. But I can take that clip, pop it back, and swap the key cylinder. Okay. Let's get that. And one of these, I was going to push the door partially shut. Put this up in there and hold it up, see if it sits up there flush. It's close. I think I will get a pair of pliers and see if I can bend that in just, well, actually, I guess shut the door. I think I'll get something to set on there and just peck that with a hammer. I'm just going to take an extension and put it right in there by where I see it's bent. And that looks pretty good. And that key cylinder may not even work. But we get that up there and that fits pretty good. And we can hold it in. Let's carefully go through here. Put our nut up on the handle. Push that back and put this one in. I reach through here and take this rod and pop it back into its spot, and then that should work. Yep. And that's not perfect, but you know, it's a 20-year-old truck, so I don't know that it has to be. reach through there and lock that latch, and then just take this rod um, for the key cylinder, get it lined up, and okay, push that in its spot. We can put our rubber plug back in. Of course, with the latch in the right spot, our door lock works now. Let's bring this back up here. That started. Oh, okay. Now, before I put the door panel back on, I want to run the window up and down a time or two. But for now, that's got our latch swapped out. Okay. Well, I went out and picked up parts to fix or finish up my clutch pedal repair. And I checked the auto parts store, over Eileen's AutoZone Advance, and nobody had these bushings. So I called the local Ford dealer, and all they could say was, these bushings do not come separate. Um, you've got to buy a whole clutch pedal assembly. And they quoted me $489 plus tax. So needless to say, I didn't go there. Instead, I had this wild hair to measure the pin, the size of the hole in the shaft, which this pin is 1/2 inch in diameter. The hole in our clutch pedal is 9/16. So I went to Grainger, and of course, Grainger, OEM, pretty damn close. But these have a 1/2 inch inside diameter, 9/16 outside, and these are part 2 NCG5. And I have a Grainger account, so I just went online, ordered them, took them a day to get them, went down, picked them up, paid for them, 5 bushings, $6.19 with tax. So I think that's awesome. So I'm going to put one in each end of the pedal. And I wanted to put this in here and see what kind of, okay. So that means that that needs to go there, and that needs to go out there. And I brought some, ooh, that looks like it got moisture in it. Huh. And I'm going to lube this thing up. I really don't like the looks of my grease, but I don't know what I do at this point. It must have had sun hit it and it sweated, because it wasn't outside and it wasn't uncovered. That fits through there just fine. And then the fun part comes. I will say the only thing I forgot to bring up was my assortment of E-rings to put the E-ring clip on the other end. But regardless, I'm going to bring this into the up position. Get it up there kind of where it needs to be. I should be able to get this pin started going. through there, I would hope. There we go. Use the ground for some leverage. All right. And that will go all the way through there, and then push that down. Now I got to do is get an E-clip to put on that. And then we can put this back in the truck. Got while I was out, and I got these at AutoZone. I went ahead and got the new retainer thing that goes on here. And I'm going to put this in the rod and then slide it up on there. Because I want to get all this put back together. Slide the rod through the clutch safety switch and then snap it on here. So, and that's the goal at least. So I'll put a little bit of grease on that while I'm here. And then the other thing I bought while I was out was a new ignition switch, or lock cylinder. And when you put the new one in, you can always tell when you're in the right position for it to slide in. Turn it and push that little button in, and when you're in the right spot, it'll stay up. And then as soon as you turn it, it falls down, this little silver pin. Now I was talking about my lock cylinder. Are y'all ready to go? And turn around to get it in the right direction. You go in and just push it straight in. And it's hard to hold that and work the key, but that way the new key will fit in. We can turn it, and it's stuck in there. We can turn it off, and we're good to go. And the only thing is, these keys will not match the door. And I never could get an answer if he had the key for the door. If he doesn't, we're going to have to replace the cylinders in the door. If we do, I may buy cylinders, take this to the locksmith, and have it matched to this key. Or see if I can buy cylinders that I can put the right pucks in to key it myself. Okay, to finish off our pedal, I went to my E-ring assortment, found the one that was the right size to clip on the end of the shaft. So I got an E-ring on both ends. And basically what I did was I just compared it to the one that was on there and put the same size on, because my box isn't labeled what size is what. Alright, I got my camera set up there where I think it'll work the way I want it to. And then I gotta get the pedal bracket and get it up there. And we're kind of in the right spot. I gotta get the two studs sticking out the front, going through their holes. It's not quite as easy as it looked like it should be. Part of that's getting my butt up in there where I can see. Got one hole started. Oh, come on. The wiring harness is in the way that goes up to the fuse box. Pull it down so I can move it over. There we go. All right. Apparently that rod, there are tabs, which I can't see, but down in where the rod goes in the clutch master cylinder, there's actually tabs in there to hold the rod in. And I think I'm going to get something and bend them out just a little so they'll hold better. Because apparently they lock in there, and that's what keeps the pedal from coming up too high. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get this bracket bolted back up in here. And I'm going to start out with inside and just take those nuts and just run them up there close without tightening. Because when I put the nuts on under the hood and tighten them, I don't want it. It needs to be able to slide forward. Get the hand ratchet, and I'm going to tighten these up. But then I was trying to bend our tab in our pocket down there, and I got a better flashlight. That clip is broke, so I actually got to have a new clutch master cylinder. Didn't really want to have to buy one, but I ain't got a choice. And it's just held on with a little snap ring retainer, so it's going to be fairly easy to change. The sucky thing's bleeding it, but we can get that done. Not that big a deal. So I'm going to look up a clutch master and see if I can go get one. I went and got a pair of pliers, even though I thought that clip should have slid out without me having to get pliers. But it's been a day or two since I took one of these off. Oh, this one has funny little ears that keep it from coming off there. Then we can pull the line out of the bottom, and I'll just kind of plug the hole a little bit so I don't drip on the paint. Now I'm going to set this off to the side. Got my new master cylinder. Got a new O-ring and clip for the clutch master. Open that up. Trying to get things out of that bag. Not working real well. Okay. I'm going to pull this cover off. Yeah. And that's what I should have done. You pull the clip back and there's room to push the line in or pull it out. Wonder how many times I did that and didn't notice that. I'm going to reach down here and get this old O-ring off. Put it down there. I take my new one. Put it on there, and there's brake fluid all around, so I get brake fluid all over that. I need to wipe my fingers off again. I wonder if I can go ahead and put this up in the firewall. All right, after a few choice words, I got it in. I was holding it too far that way. I need to come back more and get behind this panel, the electrical box, and then so reach underneath here, grab that line, push it up in there, and then just push that clip back and lock that line in there. And then the next tricky thing is pouring fluid in it. Let's see if I can get back there without making too big a mess. Okay, get my light. Luckily the bottle's not full. Now the firewall is toward the top of the picture. And then you may wonder, well, why didn't he put the push rod in before he put in that master cylinder? Well, it's because I'm going to take the switch and put on the or the clutch switch, put it on the pedal, or that, well, take that, the clutch switch, put it on that rod, and then take the rod and put it on the pedal, or try to. There we go. And then I can line that up with the clutch master, push it down, and let it lock in there, or try to get it to lock in there. Oh. Well, just one little update since I was out here last night. Clutch master cylinder, I got it on. I was going to need to bleed it, and I was out here last night after I put the camera up. I thought, well, the line is full. Maybe all I need to do is do some bleeding at the master cylinder. So I took my tool, unhooked that line, pumped it a couple times, got fluid through the master cylinder, put the line back on, did our clip, First time I pushed the pedal down, I heard the rod click into the backside, and now our pedal height is where we want it, and the clutch feels pretty good. So this morning I went and got the battery out of my Dodge, my winch battery, and put in here, and let's see if this thing will start. Well, the clutch is going to require more bleeding because I don't got enough a good enough clutch pedal to shift it into gear. What I'm actually going to do is go down to the clutch slave cylinder and compress it and push it in and see if I can bleed it, pushing um, the fluid backwards through it, because it actually looks like the port where the fluid um, goes into the actual pump part of the master cylinder might be our high point. I just think I want to put just a tad bit more fluid in it just to make sure that we got enough, but don't need to add very much. I just raise the level up about an inch. I'm going to go get something to lay on, and then I'll crawl underneath the truck. Okay, well, I thought this would have a bleeder screw or easy access, but apparently I haven't ever. I thought I'd done one of these, but apparently I haven't, because this is just like up top where it twist locks in. And I'm just going to take this plunger. I pulled it out. I'm just going to push it in all the way, then gently let it out. I'll do that a second time. Okay, and I'm going to put this back up in here. Lined up. Oh. And this twists in just like it did up top. So twist it around till it locks. Okay, well, so far my quickie trying to bleed this out didn't work. So I went online, like most people do, and went to the Ford truck forum, and it said, take this out, which I did, and pull it down so that the line, there's no low spots in it, and make sure that the end of the slave cylinder is pointing up. And then it said to like, pull this down as far as it'll go. Then we're going to push this in slowly as far as it'll go and hold it and count the 10. So 1001, 1002, 7, 8, 1009, 1010. And then very slowly let this out down here. And that's mainly so you don't pull all that air right back down. And there's a spring in there, so it pushes out. And it is a little bit hard on your hands pushing on that thing. And I'm going to give my hand a small break. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and it says you may have to do this 10 or 15 times. And currently I'm going to go up. I'm going to check the reservoir, see if there's any air bubbles in it, and get a rag to wipe off my hands. And then I'm going to do this a bunch more times and I'll report back. Okay, well, after 10 times of pushing that in, holding it, letting it out, I'm ready to put it back in the transmission. I'm going to get my pliers ready. Oh, push that in. There's 3 little tabs on that go in slots in the transmission case. And get them pushed up in there, and then once you get it in all the way, it's about a third of a turn, and you'll feel it lock in. And now let's go up top and look for air bubbles. Okay, so I made sure the window went up and down good. Apparently I'm out of spray adhesive because this stuff, after you peel it off, don't stick as well as it did originally. But I'm out of spray adhesive, so for now, I'm just going to put the door panel on. And all these little hooks around the perimeter of it go in these holes. So got to make sure our wires are where we can put our switch on. Get that up and in the right spot. Make sure your lock's there. Once you get it in the right spot and you think you're correct, then we slide it straight down and just make sure it's flush with the body. But we'll take our 7mm headed screws. We got one, goes down here. And it just needs to be snug. Don't have to super tighten it, because basically all it's doing is keeping you from lifting the door panel up. And then take our switch. Our green connector is our power door locks. Gray connector is the power windows. And then little tab goes underneath there and then just snaps down in the front. And this just has our 2 little clips. Goes up there. And then our light and the little notch goes to the front. And this may not stay in because that little clippy thing ain't very good. Yeah, I think I'll get some silicone and just kind of glue this up there. Or I might have another one of these, but that little tab, I must have broke it when I took it out. And of course, this one doesn't have a light in it, so it doesn't have a spot for the light in the reflector. But that's all done. I want to get that together, and then I think I'm going to shut the hood and see if I can take it for a drive. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up this episode on the Ford F550 that I got the outside door handle changed, window working, door panel back on, everything good there. I got the clutch master cylinder swapped out. I think I got all the air out. It's still, the clutch doesn't feel right, but the transmission may have to come out of this, because when I took it for a drive, I got first, second, and third gear. No fourth. It won't, you can try, but it won't go into fourth. But it'll go into fifth and sixth, and it'll also go into reverse. So something is going on inside the transmission, and yeah, because I've never had one of these apart. This has one of the ZS6 6-speed manual transmissions. Never took one apart, so don't even know what to guess. Everything feels like it should go, but it doesn't. Let's see. And also, the more I drove it, the less it smoked. It's almost like it's dumping a little too much diesel fuel. But the longer I drove it, the better it got. And it is possible, I don't know how long the truck's been sitting. I was going to get and put some fresh diesel in it and then take it back out and drive it, because I don't have a license plate, so I'm not taking it out on the road. And I also don't know if it has insurance. So, but, and I do need to go buy 2 new batteries. I haven't went and done that yet, but I just took the battery out of my Dodge, the battery for my winch, and stuck in it, and so I could start it and drive it. And also got the new key cylinder in the steering column. And luckily, the way this one got broke, the new cylinder in there works great, because sometimes when if they use the slide hammer and they pop it out, where that T on the end of the cylinder goes in, it'll damage that slot in the bottom that's in the column, and it makes it not turn smoothly. But luckily this one turns good. So, but hey, I do appreciate you watching. Hope you stuck through because it's going to be probably a fairly long video. I'm going to edit out a lot, but it's still probably going to be long. But thanks for watching. Appreciate all those people that subscribe to my channel, and anybody else out there's not a subscriber, feel free to join on in, because no telling what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.